Hey guys, it's me. You know, I always love cooking videos because I don't have to show my face, right? I can have my hair all pulled back, look at a mess. But I asked on Twitter like a couple of weeks ago if you guys would like to see some candied yams. And this recipe is so good. Like, this is the one recipe I have from my grandmother who passed away like a long time ago. And she made these and they were so delicious, and so I thought I would share it with you. I have the recipe wrote down, but you see it's all waterlogged and everything else. I know how to make them. I just needed to refer back to how much sugar and all that stuff I put in there. So the first thing you're going to need is 5 pounds of sweet potatoes. And this is 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 sweet potatoes, and it is so crazy. I've done this so many times. I throw these sweet potatoes in a bag, and it was exactly 5 pounds of sweet potatoes. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna peel these and then show you like the thickness that you should probably be cutting those. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of that, and we'll be back. Alright guys, I got those potatoes peeled. So you want to try to just find potatoes that are all kind of the same, kind of long, you know, long and skinny like that. Just so, you know, most of your potatoes look uniform. And you need a sharp knife for this. These things are so hard, like I have used an electric knife before cutting these. So you don't want to cut them too thin. Oh my gosh, my phone's vibrating. It's driving me nuts. You don't want to cut them too thin because these are going to cook for a while. Okay, so you don't want them paper thin. Probably about like this. I don't know what measurement that would be. What I could tell you. I mean, not every potato is going to be perfect and exactly the same. I'm just saying you want to try to get them, you just want to try to get them about like that. Okay? You know, pretty thick, but not too thick, you know. And just have you a sharp knife or you will be fighting all night with those things. So I'm just going to finish cutting these up real quick. Alright, I'm going to try to move y'all closer so you can see the pot. Let's see. So the first thing you're going to do is put 3 tablespoons of butter. And this is just a stick of unsalted. This one's salted. It's just what was ever in my daughter's fridge. So just cut you off 3 tablespoons of that. And then we're just going to turn this up to about 8 and let this butter get melted. I'm going to try to hunt down the measuring cups. Hunt down the measuring cups and the teaspoons and stuff. So we'll be right back. And okay, so I'm letting this butter melt, and her recipe calls for 5 slices of fresh lemon. Okay, I put more than that in mine. I use actually 2 whole lemons, and you just want to cut them about this thickness here. And then just go through, just hold up the lemon and just go through, and you can see the seeds. Just punch the seeds out of the lemon. It doesn't matter if they don't look pretty, if you smush one of the little sections in the lemon like that. It doesn't matter. It's all that lemon is going to cook down, but you don't want those lemon seeds in your yams because the yams are really soft, and that's all you need is to like bite down on a seed crack a tooth or something. So yeah, you can just hold them up to the light and you can see the seeds. You just grab them with your fingers. I'm country, you know, you don't need no special utensils for all that. So we've got our 2 whole lemons. I went ahead and measured out my sugar. Okay, so we have 3 cups of white granulated sugar, and we have 2 cups of light brown sugar. Okay. By the way, don't do like I do. It seems like it was really dark in here, so I went and grabbed my ring light and I burnt my butters. So I'm gonna melt 3 more tablespoons of butter. So when you're making these, you wanna get the butter melted and you wanna put your ingredients in. But this is not something that you sit and stir, okay? Like, you want to use a little cheap plastic spoon or like a wooden spoon or something like that, because you don't stir these potatoes like that. You just kind of press them down. So I'm trying to let my new unburnt butter get done. So we're gonna go ahead and put our sweet potatoes in. And this is the biggest pot my daughter has, and I was like praying they would fit down in here. All right. Yes, success. All right, so we've got that in here, and then you want to go ahead and add your 3 cups of granulated sugar. Your 2 cups of brown sugar. Ooh, I hope this fits. And then just put your lemon slices in there. And then I measured out, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water. I went ahead and did 2 cups, which means I'll need to cook them probably just a little bit longer. But you just slowly pour that water over all that sugar, and it just like dissolves it. Like, it just gets so like gooey looking and delicious. And down in the side of the pot, you can see where the water level's at. Now at this point, you can push the potatoes down. It doesn't matter. They're too dang hard to break. So I'm going to put that like on 8, and I'm going to let these come to a boil. All right, we just want to get them up to a boil, and then we're going to turn the heat down on them. So when that gets up, I'll be back. All right, guys, our sweet potatoes are starting to boil, and I'll try to just kind of get the lemon down in there and stuff, just so all the lemon juice can be cooking in them. So I had that on 8 or 9 on this stove. This stove cooks so different than mine. So God bless, I hope I don't burn these things. All right, so they're starting to boil, and we're just gonna turn those down to like medium, maybe like to like 6 or something. Make sure you get any of that sugar that splashes cleaned up, because it'll be sticky as all hell. So what we're gonna do is just let these cook, and I'll try to keep up with my time, because there's none of that. I'll just have to make instructions for y'all and let you know. So it's 10 after. So I'll just let these start cooking, and you know, you want to turn it down on low and just let them. They're still bubbling. They're still kind of boiling. This sugar water is hot. Okay, hot. But you don't want the burner to be so hot that your potatoes start sticking on the bottom. Because remember, like I said, you're not gonna, I might turn it down just a little bit more on 5. You don't want, you know, you don't want to be just stirring them around and breaking all your potatoes up so they look mushy when they're done. So I'm just gonna leave these alone. I'm gonna let them cook, and after about 30 minutes, I'll come back and we'll check on them and see how they're looking, and see if we need to turn the heat up on them, or you know, what direction we need to go from there. But we're just gonna let them girls cook. All right, guys, we're just checking in. It's been cooking for about like 25 minutes or something, and I have literally, I swear, this stove, I had it on 2, and it was like at a rolling boil. I'm like, what is going on? But it finally calmed down. So you see the potatoes, they're just cooking. And you just take your spoon and just press them down. I do take my spoon and just put it down in the middle of the pot and just kind of move it around. Just make sure nothing's sticking, because you don't want burnt sweet potatoes, okay? So I'm just going to keep letting these simmer at a slow boil till they're done. And then I'm going to turn the heat up and start letting like some of the water evaporate out of them. It's so hard to explain these. It's just, after you make them so many times, it's hard to write the directions down, but we'll just let these keep cooking until they're all the way done. And then, because we want to get our syrup, you see this syrup right here is watery still. And that's why sometimes I'm unsure if I want to use a 1/2 cup or 2 cups. We want to get that, we have to get that to where it's thick. So I'm just going to let these keep on cooking down for a little while. Okay, I'll let these cook maybe like another, I don't know, 10 minutes. The yams themselves are done, okay? So I turn the heat up, and what we're going to do, you see this sugar is boiling and it's hot. We're going to let some of that water, you know, the steam evaporate out of these potatoes, and that'll cause us to get a nice caramelized juice on top of them. So I'm going to let these keep cooking. Alright guys, our yams have been cooking for, they started boiling at like 7 after, so it's been like 50 minutes. These have been boiling. Whew. And so you see, man, that sugar's hot. So you see how they're kind of bubbly, and the sauce is getting thicker. This is going to thicken up whenever this cools down. And I took one out. I took one out of the pan to taste it. So you see like the juice in the bottom, how it's not really runny. It's getting kind of thick. So once they're done cooking, and I'm so sorry if this is just a weird, you know, I'm just trying to show y'all like the different stages, because if you gotta, there's just like certain things you gotta look for like when cooking them. So I hope I've done a good enough job at explaining those. And see how they're still bubbling and just so good. So then we're gonna add, which one of these is a teaspoon? Then we're going to add 3 to 4 teaspoons of vanilla in here. So 1, 3. I'm going to go ahead and put 4. We got the 4 teaspoons of vanilla. And then I'm just going to put like a dash of salt. Maybe, you know, like that. Just sprinkle some salt in there. And then you just want to, after you get that vanilla in there, you just want to kind of push them down. And you see, I don't know how good you guys can see, the potatoes, they start getting this like, I hope the lighting's okay, they start getting a glaze on them. They start getting shiny, alright? So 50 minutes I let these boil. And if you notice that they're still not getting thick enough, you need to like turn the heat up higher. So like I said, the water will start evaporating out of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let these cool off. And then we'll put these in a dish, see what they look like. Our yams are cooled off some. I went ahead and put, my daughter, she doesn't have fancy glass dishes over here, so y'all get the Ziploc to-go container. But they were kind of cooled. They're still really hot. But I just wanted to show you like what they'll look like when they're done. They're really beautiful, right? And you can see this juice is getting thicker and thicker as they sit. And once this cools off, it'll get a little bit thicker. So, and the lemons are so pretty. They're like candied lemons. They're just really for looks. I guess you could chew on those and eat those if you wanted, though. They wouldn't be tart like that, but you can add like raisins in here if you want when you're cooking these, or when you're done you could sprinkle some pecans on it. I've never put like the marshmallow. You probably could do something like that if you wanted. Put these in like a bigger dish and do the marshmallows and like broil the top and get it nice and brown and melty. I just never done that because this is how we eat them. But these are so absolutely delicious. I mean, it smelled so good in here before, but then once at the end, when they're done cooking, when you add that vanilla extract, it takes it to a whole nother level. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too difficult showing you how to do this. It's just, they're just kind of temperamental, you know. You just gotta try to keep an eye on them and just look at the consistency of the juice. So, but the potato starts getting a little, like the yam starts getting a little bit, just a little bit chewy, a little bit. So if you keep cooking them way too long, these will get really, and I personally, I like them like that. They're kind of like candy to me, but these are so delicious with like, on Thanksgiving with like dressing and, you know, gravy and deviled eggs and macaroni and cheese. And these, I like to cook these the night before, and I just cover these and let these sit out. Because this is not a dish we heat up and like eat it hot. This is just like a kind of a room temperature, or you can stick it in the fridge if you want. But it's just kind of a room temperature side, okay? I don't heat these up like just to serve them. They're served just like this when they're cooled off. So if you guys have any questions about my video, just leave me a comment down in the description box if you have any questions about it. And, you know, I'll always answer you guys. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you can make these. I mean, when I went to the store and bought these potatoes today, they were like 19 cents a pound. I bought 5 pounds. It was $1 for these, right? So it's a very cheap dish to make. I mean, if you already have brown sugar and sugar, I just bought all that stuff because I wasn't sure how much was here. But it's a really cheap dish to make. So I hope some of you guys can do it. And thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you on my next video. Love you guys. Bye.